And you're welcome.
Oh, I know I'm always welcome.
You are welcome. All right. We ready to rock and roll? Would you like to bring us in today, episode 2?
Oh, I can have a go.
Have a go.
Have a go. I don't know, whatever time of day it is, wherever you are, welcome along to boozebrothers.tv for episode number 2. I am Qball. This is my good buddy, the Prophet.
You're welcome.
Even though I occasionally just call him Dave.
Yes. And I sometimes refer to you as Dave.
It's funny how that works. It really is. It's almost a happy coincidence.
We were going to call the show Double D, which if you watched episode 1, you'd understand Double D. There was actually a bra hanging here before, which was probably a Double D.
Well, I didn't check the label.
No.
I didn't... I had my face in there, but I just didn't look that closely at the label.
It's not quite the same motorboating an empty bra, is it?
I know.
No.
I was disappointed.
And, once again, we film these fairly well live wherever we are. Anything that happens during the filming of the show happens. Yes. Last episode, we had somebody banging the drums. We had dogs barking. Today, the dogs are still here, but a plane's just flying by. Whatever happens on boozebrothers.tv.
That is a dog having a drink that you can hear,
yes.
Not anything else.
Yes,
okay?
yes, please don't confuse that with anything else. They can see from behind the bar. We're filming on 2 separate cameras here, so you can see behind the bar. There's nothing happening behind the bar. There's nothing happening in front of the bar. It was the dog having a drink over at the water fountain.
I just felt like I should join in with that.
Yes.
Camera 1?
Camera 2.
Camera 2. How you doing?
Yes, how you doing? Anyway, so, wings and beer, what a concept.
Wings and beer, what a concept. You gotta love hot wings. They do go exceptionally well with beer.
Yes, they do. Although we're not going to talk about beer in today's episode, we should talk about hot wings, though.
We can talk about hot wings, and in particular, hot sauces.
Hot sauces. Oof, hot sauce in the city. You know, last night, we still have the visitors over here. It's been over a week now. The visitors are all still here from Canada. I love my Outlaws.
It's a family gathering.
And I do refer to them as the Outlaws.
Why not?
And do you know why?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Because they're wanted.
I
was ominous just then.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
I'm sorry, it wasn't that good.
It wasn't that good, but it's true.
Well, okay, I'll take that.
I love my Outlaws.
As you should.
Anyway, so we had them here, and with them coming over from Canada to Australia, they were able to bring me the good oil.
The good oil in question.
The good oil in question.
The Hanneman's hot sauces.
The Hanneman's sauces, which are relatively hot. So, just a very quick thing for Hanneman's here, just so you understand, so we're talking about appreciating things in a bottle.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to start with something that is non-alcoholic. All right, so Hanneman's hot sauces and catering, predominantly started with the 7 pepper. So, which is why it has the number 7 on it. Rocket science here. So, 7 pepper sauce. So, my buddy Dave Hanna, shout out to Hanneman's. Thank you for coming on board to boozebrothers.tv as a sponsor. Hanneman sauces are available in Canada at the moment. We're looking to import them into Australia and around the world, as a matter of fact. But, nonetheless, this is like the top shelf of sauces. That's why I just wanted to bring it up today, because it's kind of like, when you go for the sauce here, you don't, or your whiskey here, you go for the there. So that's what this stuff is. This is like the top shelf of...
It's the good stuff.
Oh, it's the good oil, for sure. So, interesting concept, though. When you think about, from a business, as a purpose-driven man myself, Dave Hanna wanted to solve the family problem, that a family was only divided by heat in its sauces, or its hot sauces, if you'd like.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, a younger person would perhaps not want a lot of zing in their sauce, whereas a more experienced hot sauce person wants more hot.
That's right. So,
more hot?
More hot. That is a very technical term, more hot. Anyway, we'll leave that for now.
Yes.
So, he started off with the 7, and people tried it and said, oh, I love it. And a couple of people said, love it, but it's a little bit too spicy. So, could you make something a little bit less? So, he made one with 5 peppers in it and called it the 5.
No.
True.
Really?
And then, but a bunch of other people tried the 7, and they said, you know what, I love the 7, but can you make it a little spicier? So, he brought out what I like to call the boss of sauce. The number 9. Oh, yeah. That is my bad boy right there, the number 9. I love number 9. So
did the Beatles.
So did the Beatles. So there you go. It's things you learn on this show. Unbelievable. Anyway, so 3, 5, 7, and 9. 1 sauce, 4 levels of heat.
Genius.
Genius, actually, what it is, because I like the 9. My ever-loving wife likes the 7. And my son, not a big hot sauce kind of guy, or doesn't like the heat, but loves the flavor, so he's a 5. And my daughter is somewhere between a 7 and 9. He doesn't make an 8, so she'll run with the 9 if it's available, or the 7. But me, being a very hot sauce guy...
Pause for effect.
Pause for effect. Hanneman's is now actually bringing out more like a cayenne pepper type of a sauce. And this one here, which is the sample bottle of the new sauce that's coming out, we have it here first on boozebrothers.tv. Nobody else has it, but we do. It's going to be Hanneman's Hot, it's going to be called. So it's double H, like 2 H's. So I've told him it's like H2, oh my god, that's hot.
That
but
could work.
The secret to this sauce is, and like most hot sauces, and this will be when we get into the booze in a moment, is, you know, there's nothing worse than a hot sauce where you can't taste it. There's no flavor to it. It's just so hot, it's got no flavor. Whereas this one is flavor first, heat second. So first thing you get is like this amazing, oh my god, that tastes good. And then like, ooh, that's got a kick to it. And if we're going to do an episode on Bloody Marys,
we'll use that.
Or Caesars, for those in Canada who may be watching, we will be using the H2, oh my god, that's hot, for that. So thanks to Hanneman's for coming on board. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the samples that have been sent down to us to be able to demonstrate.
I really want to try that now.
Oh, would you like to have a... Let's break the seal. We are breaking the seal. Actually, we'll do this like this.
Agitate the sauce.
Probably just, you might want to just put a little pinky on that bad boy.
It's very flavoursome.
Flavoursome?
The flavour is absolutely fantastic. And here comes the heat.
Here it comes.
Here comes the heat.
Bring the heat, baby. So.
And that's good.
That is good. That is Hanneman's. Look about Hanneman's. We'll put something up in the video here so you can see where you can find Hanneman's if you'd like to get your hands on a Hanneman.
And that would be just a great hot sauce for your barbecue. So for like if you're doing ribs or even on a steak. Or in a burger even.
Oh, sorry, I grabbed the wrong bottle. This is the private label bottle, by the way. Just want to show you that one. Yeah, so the ribs, absolutely. Actually, what we do is when we make the homemade hamburgers, put it in the mincemeat and all that, and premix it in with it, and then like the 7 or 9 to flavor, then you can obviously top it up on the end for additional flavor and heat. 1 sauce, 4 levels of heat, fantastic.
That's
now imagine if they could make 1 whiskey with 4 levels of maturity.
Well, there are some manufacturers that do that, Dave.
Well, shall we have a look at some? Who are we going to look at today?
Well, it's your turn.
It's my turn.
It's your turn.
Allow me to put the hockey pucks up on the bar first.
Right. And you can continue your tale from last week about hockey pucks and why this is called the 5-hole bar as you pour.
I'm sure most Canadians, if you're watching this, will have already answered and know the answer to this question as to why this is called the 5-hole bar. So as I go to the fridge to pull out today's guest, which I've always been a Dimple man. As a matter of fact, so it is a bottle of Dimple. When my son Mitchell was born, I bought a bottle of, would have been, did you get 21? I'm thinking 21-year-old bottle. It was very expensive.
They may have had a limited run on it at that point in time.
Because I remember saying, I'll save this to his 21st birthday to be 42 years old. But apparently, as we learned at last episode, whiskey doesn't age in the bottle.
No.
It ages in the barrel. I'm learning. Trust me. Anyway, so I've always liked the Dimple, regardless. And then, of course, I went to see my favorite friend here, Mr. Qball, at his place of employment, where he does allow us to purchase at least such things, and recommended this particular bottle.
So the Dimple Golden Selection, I'll confess, it's a bottle that I had out the back in the storeroom that I was saving for myself, and my good buddy the Prophet came in and he said, I want something a little different. I'm like, I've got something out the back that might appeal to you if you're a fan of the Dimple. And he's like, well, I am.
I happen to be a very big fan of the Dimple.
The deal was struck, and a happy customer is happy.
Charged me an arm and a leg. Anyway.
But obviously it wasn't your arm and leg that you gave me.
No, but worth every penny, because I've tried the 12, I've tried the 18, and God knows whatever happened to the bottle I bought from my son when he was born. I probably drank it. Anyway, but this, I had to, it's okay, look, there's been a bit out of it already. I had a sip of it the other night. I had to sample it to see how good it was. I didn't want to bring it on the show if it was crap. How could a Dimple be crap?
I'm yet to try it myself, so I am flying blind here as such.
But anyway, so magnificent bottle. And actually, funny story, while we get the glasses out in a moment, I've got the hockey puck story and another one to bring out, is my nickname when I was growing up was Dimples.
Due to your facial features, I hope?
However, you'll note, I only have one now.
So obviously, with age, your dimples have lost their quality.
Well, I had two when I was born, of course, yes. And I had a bicycle accident as a child.
Did you hit your head?
As a matter of fact, this is where it all goes back to. Very good. Anyway, so I was riding my bike as a young fella. I don't know, I must have been like 6 or something like that. And had an accident, and my bike was from the Poe house, so I couldn't afford the little rubber handle. Mine was just a chrome bar. And being the stunt rider that I was, flipped over the thing and landed actually on my face, hit the handlebar, and dented right there in my cheek, the muscle. Perfect placement. Like, it was so hard. It was like a perfect...
Couldn't have done it better if you tried.
Hey, you know what? It was I'm gifted. Anyway, so landed there. Could you imagine like a dimple up here somewhere?
A little strange.
A little strange. But anyway, so it landed and smash, bang, dimple right there. And that one remained. It hit me right in the same spot. So as I've grown older and my teeth have got fatter, this one's gone, but that one still remains because it's actually a dent in the muscle.
Well, there you go.
Little Dimple story. Maybe that is why, I don't know, psychological, mental, that I happen to still love Dimple. Let me get the glasses and to talk about the hockey pucks. So, is it all right to drink Dimple out of Johnny Walker glasses?
Well, a glass is just a glass.
It is a glass. All right, so, the hockey pucks. In ice hockey, as a Canadian, big fan of ice hockey. So, in ice hockey, as a goalie, which I played goalie, a bit of ball hockey, I did play a little bit on ice with some ex-NHL players who are phenomenal. Another funny story, actually, for those Canadians out there. When I went back to Canada, I was born there. I never played when I was younger. Went back to Canada, started playing a lot of ball hockey, which is outdoors and stuff like that, not on skates. But then I thought, I love this, and I got into goals, and I was playing goalie, which was really great. And I thought, I'm going to have a crack on the ice. I was like 39 years old when I started playing ice hockey. And I got up there and got the goalie skates and everything like that. I could skate pretty good forward and things like that. Skating backwards was very, very rusty. So there I am, skating as a goalie, playing with my buddy Darren Shannon. The Shannon boys, phenomenal ice hockey players. Darren, 10 years in the NHL. We're out there playing just with a bunch of other guys, and all the other business guys would get together on Thursday morning and play some ice hockey. And Darren was like 10 years NHL player, so top of the Waza. And he's skating around. He's on my team. Right, he's on my team. He's a defenseman, but we go out. I'd make a save, then I'd have to turn around and skate back to the net because I couldn't skate backwards. So one time I was doing it, but probably the second or something time, I remember him swimming by and just slap the puck right into my back and skate past me and go, "Learn to skate backwards." Because if you appreciate it as a goalie, you have lots of padding in the front, which I've still retained. But the back is not excessively padded. And so when the galvanized rubber puck slaps you in the back, it's a little painful. So with that, I went to the skating rink and then took my kids skating, because they were young at the time. And they had the old Zimmer frames that old people use, but they used them for skating. So you could sit there and you could push them along. So what it is, I was teaching my kids to skate forward, but actually they already knew that. They were teaching me how to skate backwards. So I was holding on to it, maybe like, oh, what a great dad teaching his kids to skate. And there I was actually learning to skate backwards. So I can make some ice. Now, before I put the ice in, and I ask you the usual question, which is how many ice cubes for that. So as a goalie, okay, there's 5 holes in a goal. So there's the goalie net. Right? So as you stand here, there's like over the shoulder, 1, 2, corner, 3, 4, and between the legs is the 5 hole. And so that is where you never want to have anyone score on you in the 5 hole. So as I'm passionate about ice hockey and goalies, and being a goalie, then that to me was the 5 hole, was why I named the bar. And actually at the end of the bar here we have a hole where you slide your beer down and drop your beer straight into the bin, and that is called the 5 hole. Hence this is why this is the 5 hole bar. Which, when we do an episode at night, you'll see it says the 5 hole bar. Got a nice little sign that illuminates up at night. Anyway, so here we go. The Dimple. Ice cubes?
Well, seeing as you've pulled that one out of the fridge, it's already at a nice low temperature, if that's what you prefer, which I actually do. So I'll actually have a go at this one neat. But if you would like some ice, then by all means, have some ice.
I will go sans cube.
Fair enough.
Being without.
Without, indeed.
Avec.
Being with. This also begs the question as to should you actually keep your spirits in the fridge?
Yeah, great question.
Again, whatever works for you. If you like your whiskey a little cooler, then why not keep it in the fridge? Some would say that's a bad thing, but think about how many people you know that, for argument's sake, will keep a bottle of vodka in the freezer. Because, of course, it will not actually freeze because alcohol requires a super low temperature to actually freeze.
None in there.
Whereas it will actually just be nice and cold, and it's actually quite easily drinkable when it's cold.
Right. And actually, sometimes I actually do keep the whiskies in the freezer itself, actually.
Yeah.
Because alcohol does not freeze.
No.
Except for beer.
Beer will freeze because it's a much lower percentage of alcohol.
Unlike this, which is probably like 40%.
40%.
Yes.
I already read that on the back.
Oh, did you? Okay. There it is there. All right, so we're going to go neat.
Indeed, why not?
So if you were to go to a bar and order this, what would be the correct way to order? Just like, can I have a whiskey neat?
Yes.
That's it? That simple?
Yep, just a whiskey neat. If you prefer it with ice, you can ask for a whiskey on ice or a whiskey on the rocks.
Now, should we do this with shot glasses, or are we just going straight up?
Let's just go into a shot glass.
Let's go into a... Okay, so I'm just going to come up on film.
It is a brightly coloured flashing LED in the base of the shot glass. I don't know how well you can see that on camera, but...
Yes.
That's
so anyway,
the joys of...
This is actually probably a double shot, I would imagine. That's a pretty big shot glass, is it not?
That's a decent pour. So we're using the shot glass as a measure, even though, as you can see, that's quite obviously not a standard shot.
I just wanted an excuse to use the fancy, flashy, lighty thing.
Use the fancy
and then
glass.
when you finished your shot, you go and turns it off. Available at most dollar stores. So,
all right. So let's.
We'll leave our guest up here for everyone to see.
That's got a lot more on the nose than the Dickle of last week. You know,
we're not going back to Dickle jokes.
No. We had enough of the Dickle jokes last week. If you happen to miss it or would like to hear Dave's Dickle jokes again, check out last week's episode, BoysBrothers.tv.
Today we'll keep it simple and focus on the dimple. Did you just drink without cheersing me?
Oh, I feel rather bad about that, but I've been sitting here going, come on, just pour me a drink, will you?
Son of a bitch!
Pour me a
drink! Cheers, sir.
But it means I get an additional sip in that.
And one of the other reasons, actually, why we brought the hockey pucks out, as a responsible server of alcohol, how can you tell when someone's had too much to drink when you're using the hockey pucks?
My guess would be that they don't get the glass on the puck correctly, and it may perhaps topple.
Absolutely correct.
Although subject to the size of your glass,
yes,
it's going to fit on there well or not very well at all.
Predominantly use it when people are drinking beers here, beer cans and things like that, because when you tell them they can't get it on the hockey puck, I'm sorry, sir or madam, but you've had far too much to drink.
Give me your keys.
Give me your keys. Well, if you listen to rumours around here, they're probably sitting in a bowl somewhere at the hacienda.
You mean there's parties that I haven't been invited to?
Oh, mate, swings and roundabouts. Yes. So, talk to me about the Dimple. So, what do we know about the Dimple? And like, is this Dimple the only brand like this distillery makes?
Dimple is actually from the Hague distillery, if my memory serves me correctly. Check the label there.
Let's
David.
Google that shit.
Checking the interactive qualities. Yes, I can see it here. John Hague and Company, Edinburgh, Scotland.
There we
go. Definitely a Scotch whiskey.
So it's from Scotland.
Yes.
So this may therefore be referred to as a Scotch.
It is a Scotch. If it is not distilled and bottled in Scotland, you cannot call it a Scotch. Hence why something along the lines of a Bushmills or a Jameson's is an Irish whiskey and not a Scotch, because it comes out of Ireland.
Right.
And
so why don't they just call it an Irish or something, or a...
Oh, that one's not going to work, no matter how hard you try.
No, I just...
By comparison, very, very highly regarded international distillery out of Tasmania called Sullivan's Cove. They do actually produce some of the best small batch whiskies in the world, but they, even though the distillation process and everything is identical to a Scotch, they cannot call it a Scotch because it's made in Australia.
Right. And so once we're probably, you may want to talk about wines and stuff on here, but same with champagne then, is that not correct?
Yes, champagne.
Fizzy wine and shame, or bubbly wine and champagne is the same concept?
Champagne is a sparkling wine produced in the Champagne region of France. So if you are on this side of the fence, you can call it champagne. Mm-hmm. If you're on that side of the fence, then it's a sparkling white wine. Right.
So the difference between a Dom and a Bollinger, etc., is the fact that they're from the Champagne region?
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
But we're not going to talk about wine. We're going to talk about whiskey.
But it's a comparative.
Yes. I kind of think, like, as this show progresses, we're kind of like the Starsky and Hutch of, I want to be like, whiskey and Scotch.
Whiskey and Scotch.
Kind of like...
You're trying to come up with a cooler nickname.
No, I'm all right with the Prophet and Qball. I got no problems with that. But I just think, we're going to police this shit, and we're going to make sure that people learn the law about appreciating fine whiskeys and scotches and bourbons and white spirits. And
drink what you enjoy, and enjoy what you drink. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers. So last week we had a bra hanging.
See, you just determined to bring this up again, aren't you?
No bra this week.
It's a shirt, a singlet.
It is a singlet.
And it says P with a smiley face on it. And I hope that hasn't been in your pool.
No. There is a P in pool, but not in ours. So, as I mentioned, the girls were wearing all pink. And having seen the episode on the bra, they thought I should explain the shirt. So, quite interesting. Whenever I drive to Perth from Geraldton, which is about a 400-kilometre drive, it started off as a funny little thing. That I would drive down there, and there's a couple of different spots along the way as destination points. So as you leave Geraldton, West Australia, you go through Dongra, then subject to which way you go. I always take what is referred to the Brand Highway, and you would go from Dongra to Iniaba, then to Cataby, and then you would get into Perth.
Yes.
So, being the idiot that I am, idiot savant, I like to think, but anyway, yes. The idiot that I am, we go down past some places like Dendaragan, and I'm like, I'm not going down there again. And as we would get to Cataby, I would say, oh, I gotta pee. So I would stop there, and just so my wife knew, as I was taking business trips down to Perth, that, okay, it should take about 2.5 to 3 hours to get to Cataby. Bang, he's posted, he's at Cataby, boom.
And he's going to pee.
Well, I never necessarily would stop there, fuel up, because it's also a station where I would fuel up my car. But it just became a little joke where we put hashtag gotta pee. Hashtag gotta pee. Anyway, so it became this thing. Next week we might even put on the hashtag gotta pee shirts. We haven't. I'll have one. I've got one written on. Anyway, it become so famous that every time I stop, now a whole bunch of other people as they drive through there, up or down, stop there, and when I come back, of course, it's hashtag back to pee. And so the girls, as they were going down to Perth to pick up the Outlaws, as they were driving back, they, without me knowing, all had gotten shirts, these pink shirts done up, which one had a hashtag on it, and it said "Got P," and that is the P shirt.
Fair enough.
So hence the P shirt. However, I thought it was quite funny because as ladies, I said it should be hashtag "Gotta sit to pee." But anyway.
That covers that one.
Yeah. The things you will learn on boozebrothers.tv.
Absolutely.
And this is...
including many things that you do not want to know.
Yeah. And there's just some things you just can't unforget. So anyway, you're welcome. I just thought I'd tell you the story. Yeah, so it's been fascinating. So we've learned about Dimple. We've learned about the history that how, you know what, actually, you know, because it is a very significant beverage to me with having the bottle from when my son was born. Who made me a father that day. First one I was aware of anyway. But so, and I have loved the Dimple ever since. And having been nicknamed Dimples and having an accidental dimple, what a great little tie-in for that whole bottle.
Absolutely. And of course the Golden Selection, a little better than your standard Dimple 12-year-old, I think it is.
Yes. So does this sit between, would you say this would sit between the 12 and 18-year-old?
Definitely. It's a very, very nice drop. I'm quite enjoying it.
So I've tried this already, so this is your first crack at it? Give us a summary.
It's absolutely great. I mean, what are we talking about? 65 for the bottle. Money well spent. Nice, soft. There's some a very, very subtle peatiness in there.
You know, and I do quite enjoy the 12-year-old, and the 18 is divine. But this, when I had that first sip of it, I thought, like, once again, in the previous episode, I talked about that the mash that we tried. A very strong flavor, or not overpowering in the sense, but to drink that all night would be, because you know I don't drink much beer or anything. I just like to sip a nice whiskey for a couple of hours. But something like this is, to me, is one of those drinks I could just smoothly.
You could quite easily just sit and enjoy that. A few glasses over a couple of hours. Absolutely lovely. Yeah,
absolutely. And, you know, so I find that really, once again, that... So, I think maybe we should start rating these. What do you reckon? We should give it the boozebrothers.tv official rating on a scale of 1 to... Let's not be boring and say 10.
Shall we go to the extremes and say 11?
Well, let's do that. On a scale of 1 to 11, we're going to rate these each, and we'll give both our own rating. So let's sum it up. It's around a mid-$65, $70, depending where you are, what country. Yeah. You know, if you're in Canada, the US, it's probably like $30. But in Australia, it's $65 per bottle. So, Qball, rate the Dimple Golden Selection Blended Scotch Whisky. Drum roll, please.
Look, the Dimple Golden Selection, I will give it an 8 out of 11 because I'm really enjoying it. It's nice and soft on the palate, very easily drinkable. Of course, we've had it pre-chilled, and you know, on the rocks it would soften slowly with a bit of water. Actually, I think even neat with just a dash of water, that would be absolutely superb.
So you're giving it an 8 out of 11?
Absolutely.
So I'm going to say, as a Dimple man, many years, drum roll please. Thank you. Magic. I'm going to give this actually an 8.37.
It's very specific.
Well, yes, I am. And purely because actually I thought the price was quite reasonable for what you would pay in Australia for different things. Compared to the 12 and 18, I was thinking, oh, is it just, you know, I've tried the Chivas, and we might even bring that up. What's that? There's the 12 and 18, but there's that red. There's
the 12, then the extra, then the 18.
Yeah, so the extra.
And then you go to the Royal Salute.
Right, so, and we'll probably bring one of those as guests on our show too, but thinking in the same mindset that I've tried those three, I found this to be far nicer in the middle.
Yes.
Than what the extra was. Although the extra is a good drop, don't get me wrong. And I just want to rate it higher than he did, so 8.37 is good for me. But no, and you know, being a Dimple man for many, many years, I do quite enjoy that. So highly recommended the Dimple Golden Selection blended Scotch, which gives me blended. I want to wrap up on this because this episode, but blended Scotch whiskey, as you can quite clearly see, blended Scotch whiskey. So what Scotch and a whiskey? What's it, when they say blended? What are they talking?
Effectively, what they're doing with blended whiskies is they're creating a different flavour by taking different varieties and mixing them together, blending them ever so nicely to produce something truly stunning, as they have done in this case.
Beautiful.
Well, we actually, tell you what, we'll do a full in-depth on that for you next week on boozebrothers.tv.
So, as we like to close every episode, cheers.
That's actually rather good.
Yeah, pour me a drink.
Son of a bitch! Give me a drink!